Good morning to sir and madam. My name is Romil Shah, and today me and my team, which comprises of Siddharth Pandya, Vasav Patel and me, we are going to give a presentation on mini project, and the domain of our project is game development, and the title of our game is GLOBE-TROTTER. Let me start with an introduction first. GLOBE-TROTTER is a 2D platform action adventure game. This game inspires the feeling of people who used to love retro games just like Mario, Spelunky, Binding of Isaac. It is actually made up of Unity 2D TILEMAP tool. In this, we will provide you with two new exciting characters who are funny and enjoyable. This game is made up of two sections. At the beginning of the first section of the game, the virtual guy character will appear to you, who has been stuck in a crazy, insane world and has been trying to save his life throughout the obstacles of the lunatic doom world. In the second section of the game, you would sight Ninja Frog, who would try to find his friend, a virtual guy who has been stuck in the maniac world. Over to Vasav.
Hello, my name is Vaso. Now let's start with the beginning of Globetrotter game design. In this game, we have included what the user will feel while playing this game. The player will feel itself under some pressure to save from dangerous trap and enemy. We have created some funny player animation, which is so funny that is will give you smile on your face. Move into the next design features, which include the core mechanic of the game. In this, our main motto is to player must have run and jump. And last, core game loop. Core game loop is to move a player from A point to B point by navigating the platform and avoiding enemies and traps. Now, moving to game text setup. First, we will add a multiple tile map layer that includes two layers, which are the background layer that helps to make the game background. On the other hand, we have the foreground layer that contributes the game's ground. Second, we will add universal keyboard controls to move player horizontally and vertically. Also, there is a camera that follows the player through the entire game. Below, here is the simple theme of our game that shows players trapped in an insane world, trying hard to escape and avoiding the obstacles. In this slide, I am going to discuss the gameplay features. The first, character movement. In this feature, player can run and jump in the level to collect items. Second, traps and obstacles. In this, if the player contact a trap or enemy, it kills the player instantly. Third, start and end point. We add a mechanism to complete the level. This is the blueprint of our game. In this blueprint, you can see start and finish line. Player and enemies are also appeared in this blueprint. There are also some hazards and platforms appeared in this blueprint. Thank you. Over to Siddharth.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Siddharth. I will be telling you about the game logic. So the first thing is game art. So we have taken a game art from Unity Asset Store, which includes Pixel Adventure 1 and 2 game art pack from the Unity Asset Store, which is free for use. The second is the level map, which we have made up from our own imagination. Third is the music and the sound effects, which we have taken from Unity Asset Store. And lastly is the sprites, which we use to make background, foreground, player, and other platforms using Unity Tilemap and Tile Palette. Terminology of character and other objects animation. First is animation. It is a specific piece of motion. Second is animator component. It assigns the animation to game objects to an animator controller. Third is animator controller. It arranges the animation and transition in the of the game objects. And lastly, the sprite renderer, it displays a 2D sprite on screen. Physics Engine 2D. So we have used rigid body component in Physics Engine 2D, which helps us bring the game object under the forces of the physics. The physics engine does two important things. Firstly, stimulate movement. The job of it is to stimulate resistive forces like gravity and applied forces like running, jumping, and friction. And second is the collision 2D, which helps us to find and resolve the collision between the player and the other objects. Player movement and flipping sprites. So in this I will be telling you about the things we have used in our C# scripts to make a player. So we have created a directX variable that helps the player move horizontally. We have used rb.velocity within our update method to move our player. We have used serialized speed, a run speed variable for control over player speed. We have used a flipX variable with an if statement to flip the horizontal scaling of player sprite so that it can change the direction when the player changes the direction. And lastly, we have used a jump force variable that helps the player to jump. Enemy movement and player death. So in this I will be telling about the things we have done to make an enemy. So the first thing is flip horizontal, which is similar to the player earlier we have discussed. The next is we have used transform.local scale and math.signup variable with an on trigger exit 2D method to determine when to flip when enemy reaches end of the platform and then have them turn and go back the other way. The next is for player that we have used rb.bodyType variable and set trigger function which is in the die method within the update method. And now lastly, when player touches the enemy or trap, it instantly dies. Over to you, Romil.
Thank you. In this slide, I am going to discuss about traps, collectible items, and scene management as it is an important part of the game logic. We use saw and spike for traps. We use various fruit assets for items. For trap, we use collision.gameObject and compare tagging on collision enter 2D method within start method. For collectible items, we use collision.gameObject and compare tag in on trigger enter 2D method. We use scene manager and load scene in complete level method to change level scene. As we have completely explained to you the logic behind game development, now we will go through some of its applications, advantages and limitations. And the last part is system requirement. So first we will proceed with the with So first we'll proceed with applications, advantages and limitations. Application GLOBE-TROTTER is a platform adventure game with beautiful pixel graphics that everyone can play without getting bored. It is an entertainment purpose. Advantages. It has a game mechanism and graphics that everyone will love to play. It has two different characters and dozens of different levels. Limitations. Age limit 5 plus. Restart the scene when player dies. Collect all the items to reach the next level. And now we will look at the sequence system requirements. Processor Intel i3 core processor, better performance. Operating system all Windows, Mac, WebGL, etc. Memory 1 GB RAM or more. Hard disk space minimum 3 GB for database usage for future.
Okay, now we will show you the development of our project.